to Creative Design and Supply. Today we are going to sublimate on a tile. There are lots of ways that you can do these beautiful tiles. We sell these in our store. You could do the vinyl, to where this is a sample of what we did last year for our ornaments for our Christmas tree. You have little templates like this that you can put on and then put names on. But today we are going to talk about sublimation on it. So before you can actually sublimate on the tile, you have to use a laminate film. Now this comes two together that you would slip your paper in. This is the thermal, this is the heat, the one where you would have the machine to do it. Well, we tear these apart, and see, I don't have one. And I cut these into fourths. Okay, so that way it would be easy for that. So I'm going to show you, and we are going to sublimate on these in just a minute. So what we do is I actually clean off these with the highest alcohol I can get. I usually use 90%. I wipe it off, let that dry, and the side that you are going to use is the grittier side. It's going to be on top of the tile, okay? Now the time and temperature that I have found that works best for me is 400 degrees for 330 seconds. Okay. And that is just what I have found. You may come up with a different one, but when you're working with the stone or the tiles, it seems that 330 seconds is a really good key for me. So this is all that I do, is I take one side and the opposite adjacent side, and I will wrap them. If I start doing this, I start bulging it, and it'll have bubbles in it, but there's a way that you can fix that. I'll show you whenever they come out. So what I do is I actually put them on a pillow, okay, and then I'm going to put a piece of paper over that part. You don't have to, I just like to. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in the middle, just like that. Okay, show you. Okay. Alright. Then I use a silicone mat. Okay. And then I also use a piece of paper, just so that way it doesn't blow out. Alright. And then I have heat gloves for when they come out. So again, 400 degrees for 330 seconds. Alright. Alright. And I will be back. Okay, so I put my heat gloves on. Okay. And another little trick that I have seen is you can, if you have any bubbles, you can smooth them out now, which I didn't see any on this one, but this one had a few. So you're just going to work those out. All right. And I will be back when these are cooled off, so that way we can sublimate on these. I have a few seconds left on my timer. Definitely going to use heat gloves with this. And whenever you bring them out, you're going to make sure that they do not have bubbles in them. Let's see. I'll get to show you right now. Okay. Okay, I'm going to grab the whole thing. And this is why I go ahead and do that. Now you may have some bubbles, and you're going to be able to smooth those out with your heat gloves. Okay. Smooth them out like that. Let me see if I can get closer. Then you can see that's a wonderful base. I'm not worried about that little spot right there because I'm going to sublimate over it. Alright, so now that I have it all smoothed out, I'm going to let it sit and get cold so that way I can trim off the excess. It's easier to do it whenever it's cold, and then that way it's stiff. That way I have done this one, and then I will come back. They have cooled off. I have trimmed them down. Well, I've trimmed this one down, and since it had words on it and everything, I went ahead and made sure that I lined it up properly. So this is going to be one that I've already taped. This one I'm going to show you around that. I'm going to trim this one with a little X-Acto knife, and I'm going to go around as close as I can. And I'm not going to force it because afterwards, after it subs again, you will be able to lay them down a little bit better. Okay. And alright. So I'm just getting this to where it's going to be close enough so that way it will sublimate on top of it. Okay. And this one's actually going to be all the way around, so I'm going to go ahead and lay it on there. We're going to see how it goes so that way we know. Okay. And evidently I cut this one a little too, or I guesstimated on the print of it. So I'm going to kind of tilt it that way it goes across everything on it. Okay. Right about there. It covers everything. Alright, so I'm going to be happy with that one right there. So I'm going to take my tape. And I am going to lay them like this. So I'm going to take my mat one more time. I'm going to put this on there. I'm going to double check with some extra paper that I have. Okay. I'm going to lay those right there and get 2 pieces of paper. That way for the blowout, because it is going to be for the 330 seconds again. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to take this one. Alright. 400 degrees for 330 seconds once again. Okay. Let me slide these off. So on this one, I have learned that where it beveled and where it moved, I needed to actually trim this off. I wanted to make sure, but you can see in the crease right there, I should have went ahead and cut all the way around it. So that way that color would work. Okay. Right, well, I'm going to trim this one off. And I'm going to put some QR codes up here so that way you can scan with your phone. Just like I did this one. I hope this one works. I will check in just a moment and see if that one works out. I don't know if it has a glare or not, but I will try and let you know. Alright guys,